Greetings, Divine Radiance. How are you today? Welcome. I am Nahkila of AshworthScott Life Sculpting. I'm a divine interpreter, psychic life coach, and mentor, assisting you with activating the divinity and wisdom within your soul so that you are empowered to create and live an abundant life. So, you know what? I have a message for you today, and this message doesn't fall under any category. However, it was a message that I was inspired to share. And what the basis of this message is that sometimes we can accomplish more through the things we don't say, right? Through the things we don't say. Now, I'm going to share with you, I posted today on Facebook a message that talks about how when a person loves you or when a person cares or you're special to them, they may not always say, I love you or you're special to me, but they will always show you what they feel about you based on their actions, right? And it's really important for us to be able to see what a person is saying through the things that they don't say. Now, it was coming through how we have been exploring this concept of love languages, right? Love languages. Now, when I do the test, my love language is positive affirmations and physical touch. Those are my top two, and quality time. Those are my top three love languages, right? And for a long time, if I didn't get those things, I didn't feel loved, right? I just didn't feel loved. And one of the things that Spirit has been saying to me as it relates to my own personal love relationship and my journey is it is important for me to remember to love from a 5D perspective, right? That I, for a period of time, was really focused on loving from a 3D perspective. And that was really, really messing me up. Now, with that being said, when I say messing me up, I mean it was causing me a lot of stress, a lot of worry, because I was looking at things from a 3D perspective and I wasn't looking from that higher perspective. When I was feeling these worries and these stresses and, doubt and all of these things that come with loving from a 3D perspective, when we're in an unhealed place, it prompted me to begin healing those areas that were keeping me trapped there. And that's literally what it felt like. It felt like I was trapped, trapped in my own chaotic emotional state, right? And so the more I began to heal, the more I became able to give love and receive love from a higher perspective, which also aligns with a lesson that we got a while ago, which is true love is not compromising at the detriment of your own soul. And a person that loves you doesn't have to do the same in order to prove their love for you. In fact, the highest form of love that you can give to someone else is measured by your level of self-love and vice versa. So personally, I would rather someone love themselves more than they love me, because they can only love me as much as they love them, right? They can love me equal. Let's put it that way. Love me as much as you love you, but make you your top priority, right? Because there's no way a person can love you if they don't love themselves. There's just no way possible, right? No way possible. When you think of mothers or fathers that say they love their children, but yet they do things through their actions that harm their children, right? It's not because they don't mean well or they don't believe they love them, but they don't love themselves. So how can they love their children, right? Until they heal. So that's a whole nother talk, y'all. But anyway, so this is the message I was receiving. And as I was receiving this message, my aunt actually commented on it in agreement, and she sent me a message telling me how much she loved me. And, and I was thinking about back in the day, right? I was young, I was a young mother, I was in an abusive relationship. And the one thing that my aunt never did was judge me or him. Never. My aunt never judged me or him. She always treated him with respect. She always treated him well. She'd come over and play dominoes with us. She'd laugh with us. She'd hang out with us. She was always there for me without judgment, right? And there was a particular time where the relationship had gotten really, really bad. And there was a particular time where my aunt literally said to me, her exact words, Keela, you got to do what you got to do. And I could feel and hear the pleading in her words. Still not judging, Still not telling me what to do, but I could hear and feel the pleading. I could hear it and I could feel it. And that is when I decided to do what I had to do. Now, of course, there was more to it. You know, my baby was a huge, inspiring, motivating factor that prompted me to leave. But in that moment, when I did it, it was my aunt's pleading. But more than that, it was the fact that she never judged me. And this is why I was able to feel and hear the severity in what she wasn't saying, right? Because she had just shown up for me time and time again. She had just shown up for me. She didn't judge me. She didn't tell me what I should do, what I shouldn't do, how I should feel, how I should react, how I should be. None of that. Which, when a person is in the midst of something, those loving actions, right, that we often say, I'm doing this because I love them, are the very thing that will push you in the opposite direction or push them in the opposite direction, right? Sometimes we've got to learn to express love silently, right? Just by simply being there. So all of this was inspired by that original post, right? Oftentimes a person doesn't always say, I love you. And then we're sitting around like, well, why don't they love me? But yet they show up for you when you call, right? They show up for you. They're there for you. If something is important to you, they make it a priority, even if it's not important to them, right? Those are expressions of love. But sometimes we're so busy looking at things from a perspective of what we think it should be or what we think it should feel like or look like or sound like, that we don't really see the love that's right there being offered, right? And so as we're moving into serving, right, remember we're called to be these detached witnesses. So as we're moving into serving, what Spirit is reminding us is this: you don't always have to speak the words, right? You don't always have to speak the words. Sometimes you can be a listening ear. Sometimes you can be a shoulder. Sometimes you can be a ride, right? Sometimes you can be whatever their soul is calling for you to be that doesn't compromise your own happiness or peace. And that can serve a lot deeper and a lot further than words ever could. So Spirit is saying, change the perspective, right? Don't be so narrow-minded or so laser focused that we take away or deplete the ways that we can serve or be served, right? Love is such a huge, amazing thing. And so we're being called to flow, and we're being called to allow, and we're being called to be at ease and be at peace, right? We're being called to release fears and doubts, right? This is on the other end, those of us that are on the receiving end that sometimes stress out and you know, it doesn't look like that love over there, so it's not love, or it doesn't look like my perception of love, or my knight in shining armor didn't come through on a horse, so maybe this isn't my night, right? No. Sometimes you just gotta feel what's not said, right? And just allow your heart to be that indicator, right? Allow your heart to be that indicator. Feel the vibration. Allow the frequency to let you know. And as you're serving, sometimes you've just got to be that frequency. No words, just frequency, you know? And it also takes us to energy, being able to send love to those that we love, send love to the collective, right? Being able to send healing, right? We don't always have to say, maybe do it this way, or you should do it this way. Sometimes we just send healing. Sometimes we just send love. Sometimes we just send prayers, you know? And we keep them elevated and protected. And we just give them love, and that's enough. And what's meant to be will always be. But we've got to get out of the way. We've got to get out of the way. And this is sometimes the only thing that's in the way, is this right here, right? So Spirit is just saying, it's time for us to shift our perspective. And it's time for us to be open to receive love in its purest and truest form. The love languages, it's a good thing because the more you know about yourself, the better. But it's not the begin all, end all. It's a starting point. So as you learn what your love languages are, I challenge you to go outside of that, to go even deeper and really be in the frequency of love from that 5D perspective. I challenge you. I challenge you. Set that as your intention. You'd be surprised at how things shift internally, and as a result, how your external world shifts. When you're stressed about losing something, or something not coming together, or whatever you may be stressed about, others feel that stress. And they may not know why they're feeling this energy when they're around you that doesn't feel that great. Well, it's your stress. Think about babies. When the parent is stressed, the baby cries a lot. The baby's not at peace. But when you have a peaceful parent or parents, the babies tend to sleep more. They tend to cry less. They tend to laugh more, right? So it's the same for adults. We just big old babies in these grown human forms, right? So yeah, that's the message. That's the message. Let me know how it resonates. Let me know if you can relate. Let me know how you're feeling today. If you're feeling good, you're feeling fine, let me know. But in the meantime, I send you with peace, love, bliss, and abundance. I'll talk to you soon.